Hello, Seekers, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Easy, the Starlight Witch, and today we are looking into your North Star for guidance for the month of June. So, as always, we have three piles that you can choose from. I'm going to be using the same decks for everyone, so don't focus on those, but instead focus on the crystals. For pile number one, today we have this beautiful Opalite stone, or Opalite, however that is pronounced in English. Then for pile number two, we have this beautiful Kalahari picture stone. Really pretty. Hey, this kind of looks like a knight. I love it. And for pile number three, we have this gorgeous Qué Será stone. I love the blue spots in it. Okay, so please take a deep breath and I will see you in your reading. But before we get started, I want to give out some disclaimers. Please remember that this reading is for the collective, and so that means that some things may not resonate with you. If that is the case, please take whatever resonates and leave out the rest, okay? Don't force it, don't try to make it work. If it really doesn't resonate with you, then your message might be in a different pile. If you are not sure, then just give it time. Sometimes these readings take a little bit for you to understand what they are about or for you to see the the meanings of the cards and the things that I am saying play out in your life. And of course, if you would like to book a reading with me, my details are on the description box, and I'd love to hear from you. Without further ado, let's move on to your pile. So, if you chose this beautiful opalite crystal, then this is your reading. I'm gonna leave it over here for the minute. And let's see the overarching energies of the month of June for you. Pile number one. We have small steps, big accomplishments. I love that. Let go, bury, and unknown gift. Oh, this is so interesting. I really, really like this. Okay, it seems like this is going to be a very good month with a lot of blessings and a lot of progress as well, which is beautiful because the first 3 weeks of June have the most beautiful astrology of the year. So please be sure to make the most of it. With small steps and big accomplishments, I get this idea that there isn't much that you need to do this month in order to accomplish what you want. Okay? And of course, that every single step that you take towards your goals is going to pay off in one way or another. Okay, so don't let the big size of your ideals, of your goals, of your to do list overwhelm you, and instead focus on doing little things on any given day. Break it down into small steps, and all of these things actually will add up, and of course it will help to get you um, towards that big finish line, towards that big goal. Every little thing you do, it's going to take you there. It all adds up. Okay, just break it down into bite size, doable, and not overwhelming little to do tasks on your list, and of course it will take you there. It will definitely take you there. With let go and bury, I am getting the idea that there might be a little bit of trial and error here. So as you do these little tasks as you do these, as you take these small steps, you will probably end up making some mistakes here and there, or some things that you are trying may not work out, or you know, there might be little things here and there that don't actually work for you, and that's okay. The best that you can do in this case is not to hold on to it. Okay, you are being guided to let go of everything that doesn't work out, of everything that doesn't feel good, of everything that you do not want to carry anymore. Okay, because you are in a journey, and the more baggage, the more things that you take with you in this journey is going to actually hinder you in the process. So check with yourself. Check with yourself throughout the month, and whatever is not working out, just let it go and bury it. Same thing goes if there is something from the past month or from the first half of the year. I cannot believe that we're already halfway through 2026, but yet here we are. And these milestones that we go through in day to day life sometimes lead us to reflection, right? And if there is something from the first 5 months of the year that have really brought you down, that are really not working for you, any of those things, let go of them and bury them. The lighter you continue on your journey, the faster that you'll be able to complete it. And with Unknown Gift, I am getting the sense here that you will find certain talents, skills, or abilities that perhaps you didn't know you had. And these might just help you along the way in your journey. It could also be that if something took you out of course, if there is a situation that pops up that you weren't expecting, or you find an obstacle that you couldn't foresee in your journey, then there might be something in there for you. So try to approach it with curiosity. Try to approach those little obstacles, those little uncomfortable moments with a little bit of curiosity instead of being peeved by it. But try to see the blessing in disguise. Okay, so for some of you, this will be something within yourself, something about yourself, something within your skill set that maybe it hasn't been useful for you in the past, or maybe you never knew you had it, but it turns out that these can help you in this new journey that you are taking on. And for others of you, you will find these unknown gifts in different places and spaces that you weren't looking, that you were overlooking, or that might come to you as obstacles, right? As little bumps in the road, in new people, or things along those lines. Okay? But I see this as a very, very productive month in which everything you do actually will pile up to get you there on the big picture. And of course, revising the things that you are taking with you throughout your journey and lighting your load is always very, very useful mentally, emotionally, physically. So if you have a big cleanup to do around your home, if you have things that you want to donate, if you have things that you want to change around in your physical spaces, in your office, in your home, in your car, in anywhere that you inhabit in the day to day life, let that go. Open space for new things to come, and look at everything with curiosity. You will find unexpected little gifts in here. I love that. Okay, so now let's look into the blessings, the challenges, and our wild card of the month. Let's start with your blessings. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands and Soothe. Am I receiving peace? I love that. I love that. Well, first off, with the Eight of Wands, we see a lot of movement, okay? This will be a very active month for most of you. It could be during work or it could be in general in your life. So, if there are things that have been stagnant so far, if there are things that haven't been moving for the first half of the year or maybe for even longer, if there are things that just haven't worked out so far, you will start to see movement here. So, for some of you, these will be a lot of movement in your day to day life, okay? So, it will be a busy month at work or with your family, or maybe you'll be traveling, maybe you'll be taking a vacation, going on holiday, moving house. Um, Anything that really generates a lot of activity in your day to day life. And for some others of you, this will be a month where things that have been stuck will actually start moving and may even see a quick resolution here. Okay, so things will really move. And because this is on your blessings, this is actually a good thing. This is movement that doesn't overwhelm you, at least not in a bad sense. There is something here that brings you peace, that suits you. Okay, so maybe you have been feeling stagnant, maybe you're in need of a vacation, right? If you have been dreading the quietness that usually comes at the beginning of the year, then this is definitely something that it's going to feel good for you. Maybe it will be an active vacation, but being away from work, it will give you peace. It will soothe your mind. It will soothe your emotions. It will bring you to a better position. It will actually, be very good for you. And of course, if you have been waiting on things that have been stagnant, the movement that you see once those things start to move again, when you start to see action on those things and they come back to life, these things will bring you peace. Okay, it will soothe you. And I really, really like that. Okay, so let's move to your challenges, the things that might be a little bit difficult here. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man and we have a Swim. Am I flowing through metamorphosis? Well, the first thing that I'm getting here is that the change of pace might actually be a little bit difficult for some of you. Okay, you have been so stagnant or in one position, in one um, particular situation for so long that the movement might actually be a little overwhelming for some of you. There will be perhaps the need to pause here and there to actually go through these changes and flow with them. For some others of you, I can see that the changes that this month will bring for you might not necessarily be extremely comfortable. So I do believe that in the long run, in the big picture, in the time that is yet to come, these blessings, this movement that you see will end up bringing you peace. But it might be that for some of you, the process of going through it all is going to be a bit hard, a bit difficult, okay? Metamorphosis here requires you to change, it requires you to grow. And with the hangman, we also need a change of perspective. We need to see things from a different point of view. So perhaps you are moving to a new place, and this new place doesn't seem like exactly what you wanted, right? And you may not feel great in there at the beginning. And so some of these things may require you to have patience with yourself and to really allow the changes to take place within yourself and in your life, of course. And it might be that some of those changes, some of these movements actually will take you to a completely different environment. Okay, so you might be promoted, you might be changing jobs, you might be again, moving to a completely different place in the world or even within your country, but a place that is difficult enough that will require some change from you. And with swim here, you are being asked to go with it, to go with the flow and allow yourself to change, allow yourself to have a different point of view. Okay, these might be difficult, but I do believe that in the long term, in the big picture, this is actually going to be really good for you. Okay? And last but not least, we have the wild cards here. There's something you need to know, as I usually call them. These can manifest as a person, a situation, a circumstance, the overall energy of the month. Sometimes it is the lesson that the month brings, or it could be the key to go through the month in the best possible way. Okay? Yeah. We have justice, and then here we have charm. What if everything is already working out? I love this. I love this so much. With justice, I get the sense that you need to bring balance, okay? Because, of course, we see a lot of movement, we have a lot of change, and let's also not forget that there is a lot that you'll have to let go. And also, with these first card, the small steps, big accomplishments, I'm getting the idea that what you are tackling this month, that this big thing that is taking place for you during the month of June is actually quite big. You know, it's not a small thing. And this is why you need to be flexible, and you need to take it slow, or at least made pockets of time and space for you to rest, right? Because there is a lot of movement here, there is a lot of change here, and with everything that needs doing, you have to prioritize, you have to break it down into small steps. So, this is a month that is asking you to try your best to achieve some kind of balance. Okay, so after times of quick and overwhelming movement, try to make time for rest. If change is being a little too much at the time, then take a few hours on a weekend or a night or a day that feels good for you to do something that's familiar, to do something that has brought you comfort in your life. So there has to be a little bit of balance in whatever um, you are going through the month of June. And with the ladybug here, and what if everything is already working out, I am getting the idea once more that you are set up for success. Okay, that overall, everything that's on the other side of these will end up being something very good in the big picture. Okay, and of course, if you come across some obstacles, if you come across a little bumps on the road, if you make mistakes here and there, and things don't seem to be working out in a particular moment throughout the month, I believe that the ladybug here is reminding you that perhaps all of these are necessary steps in your journey, that all of these are things that need to happen for everything to take place. Okay? And that even though there might be a couple moments here and there when you feel uncertain, when you feel like things are not necessarily at their best, I like to think that the best thing to do in that moment will be to stop, to breathe, and to have a little faith that maybe everything is working out in a way that you cannot see right now. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. Okay? I really do believe that you are set up for success here. And look at how this guy is also um, looking at things upside down, just like the hanged man. And so there is a change of perspective here. There is something that is probably putting you in an uncomfortable position because we don't have the neck of an owl. And for any of us, that would be a very uncomfortable position. And overall, I think this is going to be a very interesting month for you with a lot of learning, and it might feel overwhelming here and there, but it will take you somewhere better. It's a path of evolution, it's a path of change, and I do believe that this is going to be great once you are on the other side. And now, let's grab just a little parting message, an extra piece of advice for you to navigate the month of June. Yep, look, stay open to the possibility of encountering joy each day. I mean, yeah, I can see that very clearly here. Okay? Whatever you're going, this new road you're taking, the movement that is going to see you through is going to a good place. And even if things feel overwhelming too much at times here and there is joy within all of these little things. And of course, you are exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. Like we said before, everything that is happening to you right now is a part of your journey and is meant to be part of your journey. Okay? So try to keep in mind that maybe everything is working out for you. In every little bit that happens, there is an unknown gift. There is something that perhaps you need to let go of. And once that you do, and you find yourself lighter, you're going to find that you feel better, that this is something that was always meant to be this way. Okay? So, pile number one, I am so happy that I got to give you this reading. I hope that you make the most of the month of June. Please remember um, to make time to rest. And when things may feel overwhelming, break it down, small steps. It all adds up. Okay? Approach everything with curiosity, and I think that you are going to have a great month. I hope that whatever starts moving for you really brings you peace and that you end up in a much better place by the end of the month. So, thank you for letting me read for you. I do love to show up in this way each month or whenever I have time. And I hope that you have a great month of June. If you would like to book a reading with me, my details are on the description box. I would love to hear from you in the comments if this reading resonated with you. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. I will upload readings whenever I have time, and I hope that you have a fantastic month of June. Bye bye. If you chose this beautiful Kalahari picture stone with all of its beautiful patterns, then this is your reading. Welcome to pile number 2. So let's see what the month of June has in store for you. Opportunity. Oh, I love that. What a great card. Abundance. I mean, you guys. And evolve into your complexity. Wow. Okay, well, this is very interesting. It looks like this is going to be a great month for you. And wow, this actually aligns with beautiful astrology that the month of June, at least the first 3 weeks of June, have some of the most beautiful astrology for the whole year of 2026. And I can see that there are things here that, I mean, come on, can you even? Wow. Of course, opportunity. I mean, these cards, at least these two, are pretty self-explanatory, right? You have doors of opportunity. There will be amazing things knocking at your door. So make sure to answer, make sure to be ready, okay? Remember that opportunities need to find you ready, okay? So be prepared. Be prepared to make the most of those opportunities knocking at your door, and make sure to answer, of course. Abundance, I love it. Abundance is usually related to money, to wealth, but it could be a great number of things, you know. It's kind of a generic, subjective word. You can have an abundance of blessings, not just of money, but you can also have an abundance of friendship, of love, of many things, really. So I do believe that for some of you, these will be about money, about wealth. Perhaps the work that you've been putting in the first half of the year is going to pay up big time. Perhaps it will be love, company, other things, but you are definitely going to feel very abundant in this month of June. And then we have the most interesting card, which is Evolve into Your Complexity. I love that. With these, I see growth. Okay? It's growth. And if so far everything that you have been doing has been very simple, very basic, very step one, level one, maybe level two, and things like that, it is time for you to take it up a notch. It is time to go a little bit further. It is time to start walking the extra mile and allow everything that you are doing to be bigger, to be better, and to be especially more you. Okay? I love that it says evolve into your complexity because all of us are very complex beings, and perhaps this has everything to do with you in your personal life. There is something about your identity that is changing and evolving, you know? Um, Somehow we are already halfway through, or almost halfway through, the year of 2026, and these sort of milestones tend to bring with them a lot of reflection. So there will be some of you that are thinking that there are certain aspects of yourself in your life that needs a little bit updating. So there might be some things here about your identity and how that reflects on pretty much every area of your life. So now that you are growing, because I can see here an upgrade, I can see an evolution. Okay, there's definitely things that are changing for the better. To me, these two cards combined is like best case scenario, you know? So there is definitely some growth and evolution here. And I do believe that this is asking of you that you yourself as a being evolve to match this growth. And I love that. I love that very much for you. That is actually really interesting. So now let's see about your blessings, challenges, and something you need to know about the month of June. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so for your blessings, we have the moon and we have blow. How can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? And how interesting, because the moon is usually associated with intuition, of course. So, how interesting that is showing up in both of your cards. The first thing that I'm getting here is that you are navigating uncertainty. There are big promises in these first few cards that we picked for you, but there is a pretty good chance that as I have been talking about them, you have no idea how that is going to show up for you. You don't have any idea how that looks like in your life. There is a certain amount of uncertainty here, and even some fears. Because when the moon shows up, we sometimes have to face our fears somewhat in here. Okay? So if you don't know how these opportunities, how this abundance is going to show up in your life, what's it going to look like, what's it going to bring, what do you need to do to make the most of it, to take advantage of it, and all of these things. This is a month to trust your intuition, to trust that whenever they show up, you will know that those are your opportunities. You will know what to do, you will know when to spring into action. Okay, so instead of being in this very hyper vigilant position, right? Because this little guy here looks like he's, you know, deeply focused on observing everything, right? He looks hyper vigilant. So instead of being hyper vigilant the entire month, allow yourself to trust that you will know when things actually show up, that you don't need to be in this state for the things to manifest or for them not to pass you by. There is this saying that whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. So I do believe that with these cards on your blessings, these might be a month for you to develop trust in yourself, trust in your instincts, and work on feeling calm, cool, and collected during times of uncertainty, during times when things are a little bit confusing, during times when you don't have a clear picture of everything that's out there or everything that is going on. Okay, so try to work on these. Try to work on calm during uncertain times. Feeling okay in times of uncertainty is actually probably one of the most difficult things to do in life. At least it is for me. But it is a skill worth developing. And this seems to be a very good month for you to work on that. Okay. I love how the colors of this card actually reflect the colors on the opportunity card. So I really do believe that this is telling you that you will know when those opportunities knock at your door. Okay? So you don't need to be hyper vigilant the entire time. You will know when these things show up for you. Now let's have a look at your challenges. Ooh. Okay, we have the star. And we do hate to see a beautiful card in a challenging position, but hey. And then we have breathe. Do I accept myself without judgment? That is very interesting. So the star is a card of healing and hope. But with these here, and do I accept myself without judgment, I'm getting more the healing sense of it. Okay? So, what I'm hearing here, what I'm saying is that in times of growth, in times of evolution, when we are being asked to step up, when we are being asked to evolve somehow and take on bigger tasks, take on different roles, we all tend to deal with imposter syndrome, right? And doubt ourselves. Am I good enough for this opportunity that is knocking on my door? Am I going to be able to really fulfill that role? To really, I'm pretty sure that you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes we doubt our own capabilities, we doubt our skills, we doubt ourselves in general when we are faced with big challenges. And these might be something that shows up for you, okay? That it might be hard for you to deal with your inner judge, but it is worth it, okay? It is worth it. I want you to remember that if these things, if these opportunities, if these abundance is showing up in your life, it's because it's meant for you. Okay, so try to remember that whenever you hear that voice in the back of your head. I've seen from some therapists that a good technique to deal with that is to give that voice a name and tell it to show up, to shut up. You can call it Karen, and whenever it gives you that terrible judgment, you can say it, shut up, Karen. I didn't ask for your opinion, so that might be a good technique, a good something to start working on this month. Okay, please remember that these cards about challenges are not a death sentence. Okay, they are basically a weather report. So if you know that today is going to rain, then you can take an umbrella with you and it will be better. Everything will be better. So if you know that this month, when these opportunities show up for yourself, you might have that little voice in the back of your head being a little asshole and telling you horrible things, then it might be a good time to start looking into ways that you can deal with that. All right? And then we have the wild cards of the month. I call them the something you need to know cards, and they tend to show up as people, places, circumstances, the overall lesson of the month, and sometimes even the key to navigate the month successfully. Okay, so let's see how this is. Yeah. Okay. We had swim also on pile number one. That's very interesting. We have the Five of Pentacles first and foremost, and yeah, I can see here that some of you will be prey to your insecurities, that some of you can be prey of your fears. Okay, these are things that usually pop up with the moon. Okay, But please do remember that at night things don't look the way that they are sometimes, you know? That pile of clothes that's on a chair may look like a monster, in a shadow on your wall. And so can the branches of a tree that's just outside your window. Okay? Things don't necessarily look as they are during the night. So I can definitely feel a sense of uncertainty. I can see that you might be saying, hey, you are crazy. There is nothing in my life here that says that there will be any opportunities or abundance or good stuff that's coming to me, that's coming for me here. But there is. Okay, you already have two majors out of three. Two of these cards are majors. So there is something big that it's coming to you, for you, in your life. So if you are feeling left out in the cold right now, don't let this feeling overwhelm you, okay? Because it is coming. It is coming. And the other thing that I can see is that, as we talked about at the beginning, opportunity needs to find you ready, okay? So the best advice that the Five of Pentacles can give us is to prepare as much as you can and then let go, okay? Then you need to trust. Prepare for what? Change. Change and flow. We have here, am I flowing through metamorphosis? We have metamorphosis here and then evolution over there. Evolve into your complexity. So I can see transformation here. These opportunities that are knocking at your door, this abundance that is coming, is going to require you to change, to evolve, to do something different. Okay? So be open minded to change and be ready to be a different version of yourself. Be ready to flow with a new way that things need to be done. Okay? If this new opportunity might be a job for you, then there is a pretty good chance that the way that people work in that new place that you might be getting into is different than the way that you have been working so far, or the way that your current workplace does things at the moment, right? So be ready for change and prepare for change, because always, 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 spring comes after winter. Okay, this is not permanent. And I can see insecurities, I can see these two cards very related to each other. Okay, I can see the fear of these things not showing up for you. Okay, if this is how you feel right now, prepare for change, because spring always comes after winter. There is something big that is coming for you and is going to require you to step up and change. All right? Wow, this is a very intense month for you. Yeah, the energies feel very intense. I can feel a lot of waiting, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of insecurities coming to the surface. But I want you to remember these. What is meant for you will not pass you by. If this is knocking on your door, it's because you can do it. Okay? Life doesn't give us opportunities that we cannot take. When those opportunities start knocking at our door, it's because we have what it takes to make the most of them. All right? I want you to remember that. If you choose to accept the challenge, if you choose to evolve, to flow, to change, then you can become the person that those opportunities and abundance require. All right? last piece of advice for you to help you navigate the month of June. Become your own muse, be your own inspiration. I love that. And with here, evolve into your complexity. These are cards that are talking specifically about you. And once again, I am getting this idea that perhaps you do not believe in your own greatness. Okay, we have self doubt, we have insecurities, we have feeling like you may not be enough, that you may not fulfill your those shoes, that position, um, as other people could. But this tells me that you need to work on your self worth. You need to see your own talents, your own abilities, your own skills, your own qualities, okay? Because there are big things out there for you if only you believe in yourself and if only you embrace them, okay? I can see yourself being your own cheerleader, and that might be necessary, okay? It might be necessary to be inspired by yourself and to work on your self esteem this month. Yeah, to lift yourself up, release what has been weighing you down. Again, to lift yourself up. So if you have been feeling down, because I definitely get that. We have the Five of Pentacles here, we have the Moon, loads of uncertainty, loads of insecurity, loads of feeling guarded, feeling left out in the cold, okay? So if you need to lift yourself up, you need to let go of those ideas. You need to let go of a scarcity mindset. You need to let go of those insecurities, okay? If an opportunity comes knocking at your door, it's because the universe knows that you are ready for it. Remember that. I have been saying that a lot, and I think it bears repeating. If an opportunity comes knocking at your door, it's because the universe knows that you are ready for it. Okay? So, a good month to be your best cheerleader, to be your biggest fan, to let go of whatever has been keeping you in this mental and emotional state, because there are big things that are coming for you and they are going to require you to be the best version of yourself. Okay? So, intense but necessary. If you choose to accept the challenge, the rewards of the work that you will be doing throughout the month of June is going to be with you for a very long time and possibly even take you further than you ever thought possible. I think this is great. Okay, so I hope that at least something in this message resonated for you. If that's the case, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you like my readings. I will keep uploading some readings whenever I have time. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you would like to book a reading with me, my details are on the description box, and I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great month of June. I hope that you choose to accept this challenge and do the necessary work, and that you see all that abundance and opportunities by the end of this month. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye. If you chose this beautiful Qué Será Stone, it really is a beautiful crystal, then this is your reading. So let's see what the month of June has in store for you. Okay. Quantum jump. All right. Nourish the shadow. Interesting. And so far, both cards have black backgrounds. Interesting. An unknown gift. This one showed up for pile number one as well, so it might be perhaps of interest to watch that pile as well. So, what I can see here is that June is going to be a month of a lot of internal work for you. Okay, this might not be very visible for other people, but this will be a month to work on yourself, really, in a way that other people do not see, that they're not able to see. The fact that both of these cards have a black background and a yellow circle, it definitely tells me that this is shedding light in your shadow. The shadow, as seen in psychology by Carl Jung and other um, people in psychology, are those parts of ourselves that we neglect, things that we do not like, and so we neglect, we bury them, we feel shame about them, and we try to pretend that they don't exist. They are not necessarily bad things, they are just things that make us uncomfortable. And these things are very personal and different for everyone. So, if you grew up in an environment where you were always be told to be silent, where you were always shamed for having questions or an opinion, then you might be someone who has been suppressing being vocal, talking about your passions or about your curiosity, asking questions, um, things like that. And then those aspects of yourself become your shadow. So they're not necessarily bad things, or although there can be a great deal of unhealthy coping mechanisms and other things that are hidden in there, but they are not necessarily bad things. They are just parts of ourselves that are neglected and pushed aside, pushed away, and there's usually a fair amount of shame that we build around them. But I am getting here the idea that this month you need to delve into those things. You need to shed a light within yourself to these parts of yourself that you have been trying really hard to pretend that they don't exist. But they are there. And if we don't deal with them, they tend to grow and become things that are very hard to heal and very hard to get rid of. But what I can see here is that there is a massive amount of personal growth waiting for you in your shadow. With unknown gift here, we have this idea that something that you might have been ridiculed or told off, or I don't know, whatever, that people may have made you feel bad about in the past is actually something that at this point in your life might work in your favor. That now that you have more experience and maturity, and that circumstances and people and things have changed in your life, that might actually be something that you need and that you want in this moment, in this season of your life. Okay, so there are good things waiting for you in that shadow. Even if in the past you've been told that those things were not good, that they were unwanted, that they were stupid or whatever, um, they're not really. And you might get to discover that. And with quantum jump here, quantum jump is the idea of going from one point to another in a really fast way. With being quantum, we have this idea of a great distance. It's not that point A and point B are very close to each other, but quite the opposite, that they might be very far away. This is a massive jump from one point to another. So, what I'm getting here is that you might actually make a great deal of progress with your self love, with your personal growth, with your life in general, because once you learn to love and accept yourself, once you conquer your shadow or nourish it or find unknown gifts, the rest of your life changes and evolves with it. You get to become the person that you were always meant to be, you know? And it might be that these unknown gift that you find in your shadow actually helps you in other areas of your life. There is like a massive shift here, but it's deeply, deeply personal. This is not something that has to do with other people. This is not something that will be very visible to other people, but this is an inner journey. This is something about yourself and for yourself, and but it's important. It's very important, and these might actually change the rest of your life. Wow. I was not expecting for things to get this deep, but it tends to do. I don't know why. Every month there is at least one pile that gets really deep. This time it is you. And how curious that these two cards actually reflect the colors of the stone really nicely. Interesting. Let's put it on this side. Okay, so let's see what are your blessings, challenges, and the wild cards of your month of June. Let's start with your blessings. I mean, I cannot even make this shit up, honestly. So we have the Hermit. Honestly, I cannot make this shit up. And then we have a Strut. Am I carrying myself with love? Honestly, if there is a card of introspection in the tarot, that is the Hermit. There is no other card like the Hermit that is all about introspection, going within, working on yourself, finding the answers within yourself. And of course, we have the lantern. The Hermit is always carrying a lantern, bringing light in the dark, in the shadows. And naturally, we have two cards in which we are bringing light into the darkness. So, this is a month to get to know yourself and to see how have you changed, how has your life changed, to focus on wow, to focus on your personal growth, to focus on seeing those parts of yourself, meeting those parts of yourself, and meeting them with love. Are you carrying yourself with love? Okay, so this is a month that is going to be very focused on that introspection. And I hope that having this card here means that you are going to learn to be very good to yourself. Okay, to meet your shadow, to meet this new version of yourself that is changing and evolving, and all of those things, that you are going to learn to meet it with love. And of course, with Unknown Gift here, I do believe that there is healing waiting here for you. That some of those things that became your shadow are going to be seen in a different light. We, of course, have those two cards that are in darkness with a spot of light in there, and then we move on to daylight. We have blue skies, we have this beautiful thing. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. there is light, the sun is coming out always. And there are gifts within yourself that you have not seen. I'm getting healing, massive healing here. Like, yeah, there is just a great deal of healing that's waiting for you here. Wow. Do not shy away from it. Be the hermit with that lantern. Okay. So, for your challenges, we have the Queen of Cups and then we have Shed. How can I know myself as bigger than any fear? Of course, and it makes perfect sense. The Queen of Cups is the ultimate nourisher, is the ultimate mothering energy. Okay? Is that mom, that grandma that brings you soup when you're sick, that tucks you up in a blanket. It's love, it's comfort, it's nourishment, is support, is the ultimate loving energy. Really, it's all about love and comfort, and I can see that here. I can see that very much because dealing with these parts of ourselves, dealing with the trauma that comes from the past, from our shadow, from those things that we haven't wanted to look at before, can require a great deal of kindness and nourishment. And sometimes it can be hard to do that for ourselves. Like I mentioned before, looking at our shadow, the things that for us represent our shadow are usually shrouded in a great amount of shame. We are usually ashamed of those parts of ourselves. And that does require a great amount of healing. Okay? But you have here nourish the shadow. You are meant to give love to that part of yourself. You are meant to give care, to give tenderness, to give acceptance, to give even just that feeling of being seen to that part of yourself. That is your work here. But with the Queen of Cups being the representation of the ultimate nourishing person in your challenges, then these might be a little challenging for you. Okay, it might be a little challenging for you to see that past version of yourself and see those parts of your personality, of your history, and of yourself with love because you are used to all the shame and all the situations, words, circumstances, people that made it a part of your shadow. It's hard to let go of that. It's hard to let go of that, but you have a snake here with the word shed. So you are meant to shed those memories. You are meant to shed those people from your life. You are meant to grow and evolve past those circumstances, past those people, past those elements of your life. You are meant to leave them behind. Okay? So remember that these cards that represent challenges are not meant to be a death sentence or something like that, okay? They're meant to be a weather report. So if I see on my weather app that it might rain today, then I'll probably wear closed shoes and take an umbrella with me. And will it still be uncomfortable? Yes, but I will be well equipped to deal with that throughout the day. And this is what these cards are meant to represent. So If, of course, this might be a bit challenging for you, then please take some time, make some effort to balance this out, okay? To take care of yourself, to nourish that part of yourself, to see it with love, and to leave behind everything that brought you to this point. Okay, I do believe that in that nourishment is where you will find your unknown gift. Look at how both of these cards have that beautiful blue sky, that they are the light. Okay, I do believe that here is where you will find the healing. Even if it might be hard at the beginning, this is where you find your healing. All right? And then we have the something you need to know cards, the wild cards, and these tend to show up as people, circumstances, energies, and sometimes they are the overall lesson that the month brings or the key to navigate the month successfully. Okay, let's see what you have. You have the Fool and Map. Which course takes me home? I love that. I love that. Well, first with the Fool, we have starting over. Okay, the Fool is a beginning, it's the start of a new journey. It really is. And of course, with here, which course takes me home? What I'm hearing with these, what I'm seeing with these, is that home represents that authentic, most authentic version of yourself. That version that was not um, shamed for any parts of yourself. It's the healed version of you, or as some people like to call it, their higher selves. Is that evolution, of course, because we have quantum jump. Okay, it's a big evolution. This is a month for that personal growth. Home is finding that authentic, most real, most healed, best part of yourself. And wow, I mean, this is such a beautiful reading, you guys. And once again, we have blue skies. We have here these cards relating to each other. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's so beautiful. And the unknown gift might be that opportunity of starting over. And when I say starting over, I mean in the relationship with yourself. You know, I read a very long time ago that part of growing up, a very important part of growing up, is unlearning all the things that we were taught along the way. I do believe that children know very well not only who they are and who they are meant to be, but they are taught at home, in school, in life, in the journey. They are taught that that thing is wrong, and then they are taught how they are supposed to be. And a very important part of growing up and evolving as a person is unlearning all that shit and remembering who you are, remembering the things that you loved and were important for you as a child, reconnecting with yourself as a child, with what some people like to call the inner child, because they knew stuff. The more that I navigate life, the older I get, the more I see and understand that little me knew a lot more than not only grown up me knows, but more than anybody ever gave her credit for. All the adults in my life, and even myself throughout my life, we are taught that our child selves don't really know anything. But I've come to understand that it's quite the opposite. They knew a lot. And I do believe that the healing that you are meant to work through this month will give you that opportunity to reconnect with yourself and to start a new relationship with yourself in which you aren't shaming yourself for anything in your past, for those elements on your shadow, in which you learn to see and carry yourself with love, in which you learn to nourish yourself as you are, in which you leave behind everything that you do not need to carry with you. And seeing all of these things with love teaches you that they were not flaws, that they were not stupid, that they were not bad things, but they were gifts. Gifts that could help you a lot in your life. This is a pile for people that it's healing. You guys are healing your relationship with yourselves, and wow, I love that. Whatever you are going through at this time, as uncomfortable as it is, I can see life getting a lot better for you, especially within yourself. Because I really truly believe that this is all about you, that there isn't other people here, that this is a month to focus on yourself and your healing and your own personal growth. That has nothing to do with others. So I do hope that you find your way home. I do hope that you are able to shed light into those dark parts of yourself, into those uncomfortable memories, into those awful things from the past, and see them with love, give them love, and heal. There is so much beauty in this process, as hard as it is, because shadow work is never pleasant nor easy. People use that term shadow work very lightly these days, especially in the spiritual communities, but the truth is, the shadow work is deeply uncomfortable and triggering, and it's not easy, but it is worth it. If you need therapy, I highly recommend that you find that support. If you need someone to hold your hand sometime throughout the month, I hope that you are surrounded by at least one person that will be there for you throughout this process. And I hope that by the end of June, you see yourself in a new light and you start a new relationship with yourself. So let's get a last piece of advice for you to navigate the month of June. Any obstacle you encounter is an opportunity to learn. Wow. Yeah. And we have a lot of blue here. There is a lot of blue for you. Blue is actually a very healing color, a very calming color in color psychology and color therapy. So that would be something for you to look into, I believe. When I see this card, I think that looking into that shadow, that those obstacles that it refers to are those elements of your shadow. Having to go through this process is an opportunity for you to learn again, not only how to love yourself, but how you should have been treated and how you should be treated in the future. Learning why that was wrong, and therefore giving yourself love for having to deal with it. Do your best to stay grounded and in touch with your own growth. I mean, this is basically everything that we have been talking about. And how curious is that we got the moon again, darkness, night on this side, and then light in here. So even if you stay in darkness, you're doing a big jump towards the light by doing this work. Okay? With this card, again, if you need therapy, please at least look into it, because I know that this is not easy. It is very expensive, it's not readily available for a lot of people. So I know that it might not necessarily be a possibility for everyone watching, but if it is, please do um, reach out and take care of it. If you need it, please use that resource. Okay? And if you can't, if it is not at reach for you at this moment, then at least please reach out. Try to build a support system, family, friends, someone near you that can give you company, comfort, encouragement, that can even nourish you and show you how to love yourself, how to be tender with yourself throughout these progress. Okay, what I'm getting here is that as you go through these process of self-growth, have something that keeps you nourished, that keeps you grounded, some contact in your life that is supportive for you. Okay? I hope that this message resonated with you. This feels like an important message. So I do hope that at least one person watching this needed to hear all of these. And if you are out there, I'm keeping you in my thoughts. I am hoping that this will be a very good month for you, that you will get everything that you need for yourself throughout this month, and that by the end of these, you start on your journey home. Because, of course, it cannot be expected that all of these takes place throughout the month, but that by the end of it, you start a new relationship with yourself and with your shadow. I hope that by the end, you can start your journey all the way home. So, I hope that this message resonated with you. If it did, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please do like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. I upload readings whenever I have time to do so. And it really helps my channel to have all that interaction. Share with your friends if you like my readings and you think that other people might benefit from them as well. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then my details are in the description box, and I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I wish you a very, very beautiful month of June with all the nourishment, all the light, all the support that you need, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye.